Good afternoon, welcome to my channel. I'm back once again to read you a 1,000 word story. This one actually is 1,000 words, based on 5 random words. Before I do that, just to remind you, if you do like this story, I would very much appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't already, and share it. Share it on your social media, that would be fantastic. And maybe comment and like it. Do all those things. Anyway, the 5 random words that this story is based on are as follows. And the story is named after a painting by Vincent van Gogh, and it is called Wheatfield with Crows. It's a great pity the farmer and his boys will come with their scythes soon. In a matter of days, the wheat fields will be raised to a stubble shorter than my own. I paint with diagonal stabs and slashes that are filled with urgency. Midsummer will be upon us, then just as quickly autumn with its scatterings, before winter throws a shroud over the Val d'Oise. Each season races by with a terrifying acceleration. I paint like a man frenzied by the scythes coming up behind him. In just 3 years I will be 40. What have I achieved? Nothing. Everything. I oscillate between these two conclusions. I long for Theo and Joanna's next visit. Someone sane should remind me that what I do each day is worth doing. They departed last week, my infinitely patient brother, his wife and their little boy. They've named him Vincent. I wept when they told me. The field is like a stretched canvas, like a pair of open palms. A steady wind slants the sheaves to the right, causing the crows to wheel drunkenly on its turbulence. I try to capture this motion against a darkening azure sky. I'm tempted to look at my pocket watch, a present from Dr. Gachet. I refuse to do it. What need have I of clocks? I can tell by the shadows and the deepening blue that I have an hour and a half of sensible daylight. It is enough. I pull my coat tight around my neck and force the cap down over my ears. I really ought to obtain a scarf. Honey, cocoa, and asparagus. The colours of the field make me momentarily hungry, but the thought passes with a shot of absinthe from the flask in my inside pocket. Its astringent bite never fails to warm me. Perhaps I will eat in the tavern on my way home, if the landlady will extend my credit. The money Theo had left me has all but flown. I fill a flat medium-sized brush with a daub of burnt umber to delineate the pathway cutting between the fields and zigzagging out of sight over the hill. It is rutted by the wheels of carts and the hooves of horses, red-brown dirt alternating with stripes of green grass where the wheels cannot reach. I haven't yet walked that path. I don't know where it leads. I'm glad I chose this wide canvas and came out today, instead of painting in the auberge. The mistress doesn't like it when I splatter her floorboards. But it's good that I'm not cooped up in the yellow house, with Gauguin sneering at my furniture and complaining of cockroaches, as if he will find better lodgings in Tahiti. What an idea. The sun is behind me, and I can feel its dying warmth on my neck. I'm glad I don't have to squint. Looking at the sun all day gives me headaches and fills me with fury and frustration. Yesterday I burnt 3 paintings in the yard at the auberge. Dr. Gachet cycled by and threw his bicycle down, rushing up the lane to stop me, but it was too late, for him at least. I don't know where he gets his boundless sentimentality. Those works were inferior, inauthentic, wrong. I tried to explain, but he just kept bleating, "At least keep the frames and paint over the canvases." It cheered me up, watching him blow on his burnt fingertips and do a little dance of fury in the garden. "Old friend," I told him, "you mustn't worry so, it will damage your health." We both laughed, since we were already ruined, and I'm convinced the good doctor will perish first, despite his homeopathic remedies, which I'm sure are simply water blessed by naive optimism. It's time to do justice to the clouds. They are usually magnificent in early July, but today there are just 2 blobs of blue-white cumulus, rolled like napkins on a restaurant table. Once I've layered them in to my satisfaction, I'll concentrate on the crows. This painting is really about them, as they wheel and dance, daring one another to dive for worms or nibble at fallen seeds. They look like crochet rests freed from the staves, ungainly but buoyant. They resemble the blades of scythes. I dash off several dozen, exaggerating their number, because I want them to merge into the sky. In fact, I'll darken the sky at its fringes, and they can emerge from the unfathomable space above. A murder, that's what the English say, and they know what they're talking about. I don't feel melancholy today. I rarely do when I'm working. There's just too much to think about when I fill up my mind with colours and textures and shapes. Damnable art critics say my work lacks depth and form and precision, as if truth could be attained by making art like you might take a daguerreotype, freezing reality onto a plate. As if there's any truth in the bourgeois depiction of lords and ladies and prancing horses and spoilt ruddy-cheeked children. Give me a weathered farmer, crooked as a hawthorn, tilling his field, or a red-nosed postman drinking away his wages. That's my kind of truth. But worse than ignorance is the greatest sin of all, pity. I see it in Theo's eyes constantly, and sometimes in the eyes of Dr. Gachet, although fleetingly these days because I mostly just frustrate him. I see it in some of the kinder townspeople, wet-eyed and slack-jawed in incomprehension. Why must he stand out in the cold for hours? Why must he live on bread, cheese, wine and stolen apples? Because I must. That's the only answer I'll give them. And if it makes no sense, then damn them all. There's always a revolver and the wine. There is always the lovely light just before sunset, the honey-yellow sunshine and the cackling of crows, and the rich red earth under my boots. I thank you. Yes, so that was fun. I took a painting by Vincent van Gogh. Maybe I'll show you that painting actually. Here it is. And so you can see I just basically tried to put myself in the mindset of Vincent van Gogh just before his demise, painting one of his last 7 or 8 paintings, I think. Hope you enjoyed it. As I say, if you did, please share this story. Please do what you can to further this channel, and I would much appreciate it. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye.